Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Break Games, and welcome to our list of the top 5 best LEGO games before LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. So this list is going to include games from 2005 with LEGO Star Wars the video game, all the way up to the present. I'm also only considering the home console slash PC versions of these games. We're not considering like the mobile phone or like 3DS or whatever versions, just the main versions of these games. And yeah, I'm going to be ranking my top 5. This is just my personal opinion, what I think are the best. And you guys can have your own opinion in the comments below, and you can say if you agree or disagree with mine. I think that'll be pretty fun to get a discussion going in the comments. And with this list, I also wanted to add a lot of variety. Like I didn't want to have multiple LEGO Star Wars games, multiple Marvel games. I tried to pick just one from each of these franchises just to kind of give more variety to this list. But other than that, I think we can go and get started here. So let's go ahead and begin with number 5. So at number 5, we have LEGO City Undercover from 2013/2017. So this is one of the few LEGO games that's not based on a movie or superhero property. It's an entirely original story with its own character and environment. Now this game originally released in 2013 as an almost launch title for the Wii U. It released a few months after the Wii U came out. And obviously the Wii U didn't sell too well, so it ended up getting ported to the Switch, Xbox One, PS4, and PC, and all the stuff that we play on now. So in this game you play as Chase McCain, a police officer who must stop a thug named Rex Fury. As the title of the game suggests, you end up going undercover, which creates some fun gameplay scenarios. For example, throughout the game you get loads of different outfits for Chase that give him different abilities. You have his regular police outfit where you can stop traffic with your whistle. You can use his regular street clothes outfit, his undercover outfit, a farmer outfit that allows you to glide across areas with a chicken, an astronaut outfit which allows you to like jetpack jump. The list goes on and on. I would say the main appeal of this game is its massive open world. You have loads of city districts to explore, collectibles to find, vehicles to drive, and crime to stop. There's actually a lot of detail and variety to the city. There's a downtown area, a farm area, a more kind of country area, an airport. Lots of variety here. Now, as fun as the open world is, it's probably my main problem with this game. I find it more difficult to explore than some of the other LEGO open world games. There's no way to directly fly, like you have to go to a vehicle pad and call in a helicopter or something to fly, and even then it's not very fast. It just kind of feels hard to get around the city quickly. Also, I would say this is probably one of the most annoying LEGO games to 100%. I've 100%ed pretty much all the LEGO games, and I really found this one frustrating to get all the collectibles in the open world. For some reason, the collectibles aren't listed on the map, so you either have to manually find them all, or you have to use some sort of a guide online and sort of keep track what you have and haven't collected. It's just a huge pain in the butt. I thought this is something that they could fix with the 2017 sort of port slash remaster after the Wii U version, but unfortunately they didn't do anything about it. Also, since this is an original game, it's obviously not based on a well-known movie franchise, so that personally makes me a little less interested in it than some of these other games that we're going to be getting into. So yeah, LEGO City Undercover ranks at number 5 on my top 5 best LEGO game list. Let's go ahead and move on to number 4. So at number 4, we have LEGO Indiana Jones The Original Adventures from 2008. This was the first time since 2005 that TT Games branched out from the LEGO Star Wars franchise and transitioned into Indiana Jones. I'm not even a big fan of Indiana Jones or anything like that, but I love this game. So starting off, you have this great hub world of Barnett College where you can buy characters from the library, enter cheat codes on the chalkboard of the classroom, view your mini kits or artifacts as they're called in this game. There's a lot of fun stuff to do in Barnett College. Now in the main room, there's 3 maps on the wall representing each of the 3 original films. So like the LEGO games before it, you can select your level and play through the plot of the movies. I really like the gameplay of this game because it feels like a refined version of what TT Games did with LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga a year before it. For example, the red grappling points are now places where you can swing with Indy's whip. Like they took things from the Complete Saga and sort of redid them there to make them match Indiana Jones. There's also a lot of new gameplay elements they added here. So one big addition is how you can pick up items now. So for example, you can pick up a shovel to dig into the ground and find an item or a mini kit. You can sometimes find keys or cranks on the ground that you can use to progress the area or solve a puzzle. Or there's some scenarios where you have to pick a few boxes up, bring them to a specific area, and build something with it. Just the simple idea of picking up items, it's not a very complex idea at all, but it really adds to the gameplay, I would say. The vehicle levels from the LEGO Star Wars games also return here, but this time you're more grounded, typically on a car or truck, no spaceships here. This game also has more of a focus on puzzles rather than combat. There's definitely still combat. Indy has his unique fight animations where he uses his whip and whatnot, but there's a lot more puzzles here. There's even a new character ability based around looking at symbols on walls and selecting them in the correct order, so there's really a big focus on puzzle solving here, which I kind of like because In the LEGO Star Wars games, there's situations where there's like infinitely respawning enemies, so the combat can get kind of annoying, so I like here where they focus less on combat and more on puzzle solving. But yeah, overall, I really enjoy LEGO Indiana Jones The Original Adventures. There's not a crazy open world here or any mind-blowing levels or anything like that, but this is a really solid entry and a must-play for LEGO game fans. I know it's older, so try to pick it up maybe online, download it, or find a copy on eBay or something. I definitely recommend playing this one over the sequel, that's for sure. So that comes in at number 4. Let's go ahead and move on to number 3. So at number 3, we have LEGO Marvel's Avengers from 2016. Now this one might be a bit more controversial because I know the first LEGO Marvel Superheroes from 2013, that's often people's favorite LEGO Marvel game, but me personally, I enjoy the Avengers game more. So I'm a big fan of the MCU films and now the TV shows on Disney+, so this game resonates with me more than the original stories from the LEGO Marvel Superheroes games. So in this game, you get to play many of the earlier MCU movies. There's levels from the first Avengers movie, Iron Man 3, Captain America the Winter Soldier, and so on. And it all ends with Avengers Age of Ultron, so it's just fun to have seen the movies and get to play them in LEGO form. This also means that the LEGO minifigures that you're playing as are based on their MCU appearances. For example, you can play as pretty much all of Iron Man's most well-known suits from the movies, even the Mark I, and there's even a little menu that pulls up where you like zoom into Tony Stark's head, just like the movies within the suit, and you can kind of select which suit you play as, and there's fun animations for each one, all taken from the movie, so I really like that aspect of this game as well. I also want to talk about this game's open world. So this game has New York, which is recycled from LEGO Marvel Superheroes. However, they have changed it a little bit. Like the time of day is different. They added things from the movies like Avengers Tower, they removed the X-Men Mansion, and there's other smaller adjustments like that. But in addition to Manhattan, you also have some smaller hub worlds that they added that you didn't have in the previous LEGO Marvel game. Like you can go to Tony Stark's house, you can go to Asgard. It's just fun to see all these locations recreated from the movies within this game. Now one problem I think this game has that the other LEGO Marvel games don't have is how they ripped dialogue straight from the movies. Normally this isn't too bad, but the lines here are just repeated so often. Like you're gonna hear Ultron, Captain America, Iron Man, and all the rest of them say the same lines over and over again as you're beating up thugs. It can get kind of annoying. And since this is based on the MCU, you also don't get X-Men or Fantastic Four characters, which is obviously a big loss over the first LEGO Marvel Superhero game, which had basically everyone from the Marvel Universe. But yeah, overall, this is my favorite LEGO Marvel game. It has a ton of content, and there's even DLC as well, which I didn't even mention, that adds even more content to this game. You got the massive open worlds of New York, Asgard, Tony Stark's mansion, and it's just fun to play through the movies. It's kind of interesting. Back in the day, we used to get movie games all the time where we could play through our favorite movies. We don't really get that anymore, so it's cool that we got this LEGO Marvel Avengers game to sort of play through the MCU movies. Now let's hope that they do an Infinity Saga game or some sort of sequel to this game so that we can play the movies after Age of Ultron. I think that would be really fun. But yeah, so for all those reasons, this comes in at number 3. Let me know if you agree with that or not. I know it's a little bit more controversial than the others. But let's go ahead and move on to number 2. So at number 2, we have LEGO DC Supervillains from 2018. This is basically the newest LEGO game that we have. I say basically because the LEGO Movie 2 game exists, but we don't really talk about that. So like the LEGO Batman trilogy, this game has its own original story focused on playing as the villains. In my opinion, this is overall the best DC Comics LEGO game. It's certainly a step up from LEGO Batman 3, I think most would agree on that. This game's character roster is pretty insane. Pretty much any DC villain you can think of is here, plus a lot of the main heroes are here as well. But not just that, they improve the gameplay of each of these characters to really make them feel unique. So for example, we have Clayface now, who can enlarge himself as a sort of big fig character, which is really cool because I think Clayface was absent from LEGO Batman 3, so not only did they bring him back, but they gave him a new ability as well. You have Scarecrow, who can cook up his own toxic gas in many of the game's levels. Joker, you can send out his chattering teeth to solve different puzzles. And there's just a lot of different examples like that where they gave all the villains new abilities that they didn't have before. They really went the extra mile here to give each character the ability you'd kind of expect them to have. So the story around this game is actually focused on a character that you create at the start of the game. This made TT Games heavily beef up the character creator over the previous LEGO games. There's just so many options here. It'll be interesting to see if all of these options return in LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, because they really improved it a lot, so we'll have to see if they port that over to some of the new LEGO games that aren't going to have such a focus on your own character like LEGO Star Wars. So yeah, we'll see what they do there. So the graphics here are the best they've ever been, at least before we get Skywalker Saga. The minifigures look nice and shiny in Gotham City's rain, and the different effects like Superman's heat vision really pop out. This game's also enhanced for the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X, so you're actually going to get higher resolution visuals as well if you have those enhanced consoles. And you've also got this really interesting and pretty large open world to explore. It's basically like a mashing together of Gotham City, and for the first time you get to explore Metropolis and the Lego game. Of course, there's tons of quests to do throughout these worlds and so many iconic DC locations to see. You can explore Smallville, where Clark Kent grew up. You can also see the Daily Planet, the GCPD, Arkham Asylum, and so on. I will say I do miss some of the elements of the open world from like Lego Batman 2 though. Since Metropolis and Gotham City are sort of mashed together, both of them are smaller than what they normally would be. Gone are the big streets and loads of skyscrapers from Lego Batman 2, which is a bit of a bummer, so the city's a lot more condensed. Now I know this game is focused on the villains, but the Batcave is a bit of a letdown here too. I miss being able to drive the Batmobile from the Batcave, kind of coming out from the waterfall and into Gotham City. That's all missing here. But those are pretty minor complaints because I still think this is the best Lego DC game. I think it just edges over Lego Batman 2. I think Lego Batman 2 ranks right below it. Some of you guys may disagree with me there, but I just think the levels and the gameplay are the best the Lego games have ever been. Like, just playing through the levels is so fun in this game, and it's so fun exploring the hub world and experimenting with all the different characters' abilities. Your own character even gets new abilities as you play through the story. I just think this is a really good Lego game. Like, this is one I would definitely recommend playing as one of your first Lego games. And for all these reasons, that's why it comes in at number 2. So let's move on to number 1, what I think is the best Lego game ever before Skywalker Saga. So of course at number 1 we have LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga from 2007. So I think this is the ultimate LEGO game and the one I'd recommend showing someone to get them into the LEGO game franchise. So in this game you get to play through the original 6 George Lucas Star Wars films from front to back, and it's a blast to play through. So as many of you know, you start off in the Mos Eisley Cantina, which serves as the game's hub world. Here you can buy things from the shop, start fights with the NPC characters walking around, create your own character from the back to tanks, or just start playing the game's levels. So you start by playing the first level, Negotiations, from Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, but from there you can pretty much jump to any of the 6 films, which is a nice feature. They don't make you play them all in order. I think what makes this game so important is that it really serves as the foundation for all the LEGO games that came after it. I know there were the first 2 LEGO Star Wars games, but the Complete Saga really solidified the LEGO game formula. Now let's talk about this game's character roster, because it is ridiculous. Almost anyone you can think of from the original 6 Star Wars movies is here and playable. You know, you have Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, all the main ones are here. But then you even have some really deep cuts like Boss Nass from Episode 1, Watto, and yes, even the legendary Gonk droid, which has now become a meme. And this game also has an insane amount of replayability. Like, you can get this game for under 20 bucks, and the amount of content you're going to get here is pretty ridiculous. So to get 100%, you have to play through the game's 36 levels, a minimum of 4 times each. Now some of these levels are pretty short, I will say, especially the prequel levels. Some may call this annoying, but I find it pretty enjoyable because you're doing different things each time. So you have your story mode, which you're required to do just as you're playing through the levels. Then you can go through it again in free play, where you collect mini kits and the red bricks, which give extra abilities. You have challenge mode, where you're trying to collect the blue mini kits in a time limit. And then on top of that, you have Super Story, where you're playing through an entire movie within a 1-hour time limit. And on top of that, there's even bonus levels beyond those 36 levels, like the bounty hunter missions you can do. There's even a 2-player battle arcade mode included here, where you can have a lightsaber duel with one of your co-op buddies. And speaking of co-op, this is one of the only LEGO games to feature online play. And it works fairly well too, even to this day. They haven't shut off the servers or anything, so that can be really fun if you can't play on the couch with somebody. Now the only real problem I have with this game is that it's a bit dated compared to some of the newer games, obviously. This game came out in 2007. The prequel levels in particular are super short because these were designed for the 2005 LEGO game, and obviously there's no open world or advanced graphics like the newer LEGO games have. But yes, I would say this is overall the best LEGO game before Skywalker Saga. It's jam-packed with levels, it has tons of characters, it has replayability, it has online play, it's based on Star Wars after all, and it's truly a classic in the LEGO game franchise. Play this game if you haven't. If you're new to the LEGO games, or maybe you've only played the newer ones, I definitely recommend finding this game on eBay or downloading it or whatever you need to do. Play LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga. It's a blast to play. So yeah, that's going to do it for my top 5 list of the best LEGO games before Skywalker Saga. Let me know if you agree with this list. I'm really excited to see what TT Games does with LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. We still have no idea, at least at the time of recording this video, when it's coming out. But yeah, this is kind of the top 5 list. So I guess if you're new to the LEGO game franchise, or maybe you haven't played some of these games, I would say this is a really good list to start from if you're trying to decide which game to start with first. I'd probably go with LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, and then you can choose some of the others I've listed here. These are all really good games, and I tried to, again, pick some variety here from different franchises as well that we've gotten over the years. But yeah, let me know what you think of this list. Like this video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not. Again, give me your list in the comments below and I'll reply to it and I'll let you know what I think about it. But other than that, subscribe for more. We're always covering the latest in LEGO games here. We're especially covering covering Skywalker Saga, but we also have lots of videos like this one, mini kit guides, all sorts of stuff. So if you like LEGO games, you're gonna like this channel. So with all that said, I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.